Hello vinyl lovers, Uncle Roddus back again. Video time. Today was my birthday and I got some new records. You beauty. Okay, so yeah, we just got back from town actually. Just been out for dinner with some friends, had a really enjoyable evening. Popped into town this afternoon to cash in some vouchers my wife gave me for my birthday. She gave me some vouchers for Penny Lane. I also had a bunch of records that I pulled out of my selection and some CDs that I just don't listen to and don't really enjoy that much anymore, or didn't enjoy them to start with. I don't know. Some of the vinyl I actually showed in a recent video I picked up at one of the recycle stations or whatever they call them, recycle depots down in South when we were down there a couple of months ago. I kept a couple of them, but the other ones in the end didn't impress me enough to keep hold of them, and I told that. Also some double ups. I got some double ups from the recent purchase that I picked up, some sealed albums, copies that I already had of New Zealand artists, so I traded them. So I got a nice trade, and so I spent the trade, I spent the vouchers, and then I had a look around and I found a couple of other walls, so I gave myself a little treat as well. My lovely wife gave me this book here this morning as well. This is Wired for Sound, the Stebbing History of New Zealand Music. So Stebbings was a studio, or still is a studio, I believe. I had a quick flip through the book. Eldred Stebbing was an important figure in the New Zealand music industry, and he started up a studio. He ran a label, ran a nightclub, various other things, starting in the 1950s, I believe, and they were going through the 60s and 70s, recorded quite a lot of well-known New Zealand rock bands that I have in my collection, and it's a real interesting history. I've just started reading the introduction part of it where they introduced you to Eldred Stebbing, and there's quite interesting bit of history of New Zealand. Interesting, but he used to be a film projectionist at the early cinemas in New Zealand, so that was quite interesting. Anyway, so yeah, that was cool. That's a cool book. Always interested in New Zealand music books, in the history of New Zealand music, so that's really cool. So, Penny Lane today. So I got to Penny Lane, I dumped the pile of trade-in records on the counter and asked them if they were interested and have a look through, and yeah, it gave me a better trade than I thought I was going to get, so I was quite happy. So I spent that trade on basically 3 records that I spotted in the bin. Now, James Buttery had just been talking about a record on a video that he just did recently, and I on a label, and I knew the label, and I'd already bought some records off, which I showed recently, and I had listened to the record he was referring to, and he highly rated the record. I started looking online because I did not think I'd find them in the local shops, and wasn't able to find it for under $60, or just only barely under $60, getting it shipped to New Zealand. Because of all the taxes that are getting put on now, that our government is taxing all the stuff before we buy it overseas now, so that's kind of put the price up a bit. Anyway, I was looking through the New Zealand bins while they were looking through my record trading, and didn't really see anything that I didn't already have or that was interesting me. There are some new releases out. I'm humming and hawing, and I will get them, but next to the New Zealand bin, I looked at the label on the bin of what was in that bin, and whoa, look at what I found. International Anthem Recording Company. And this is the record James was talking about. And this, yeah, it sounds fantastic. So the black Damon Locke's Black Monument Assemble, Where Future Unfolds. And yeah, sounded really cool what I heard on the thing. So yeah, International Anthem. I said to the guy at the counter, I said, "Hey, this is cool that you're getting these, and I've been looking for some of these, or I've got a couple, and I'm kind of interested in more because people are talking about the and Roger Coleman's another one who's been talking about them." So yeah, and so they had 3 records there off that was all they had. So he said that they had a distributor in New Zealand who was distributing these. So I got them. I did get them cheaper than I was getting, not by much, but I did get them cheaper than what they were overseas. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So I got 3 of them. The other 2, I am not quite familiar with, although I'm pretty sure Roger showed this one just in one of his recent videos. Jamie Branch, Jaime, oh Christ, Fly or Die 2. Actually, I'm pretty sure Roger showed this, and I don't remember what he said about it, to be honest. So this is International Anthem Record Company 0027. So, yeah, like I say, it sounds like that pretty much anything this label's putting out, sounds like it might be worth checking out. So I'm, hoping that that's going to be pretty good. And I've got 2 bloody plastic sleeves for each record, so let's just keep them separate. And then the 3rd and final one is, where is it? I've messed up all of the order. Is it here? No, it's not that one. Is that at the bottom of the heap? Yes, there it is. And then this last one, excuse me for being disorganised. Now this one is slightly different. It's an... This is Intergalactic Mantra Recording Company, and I didn't actually pick up on that when I first grabbed it. So, but I do think I remember seeing that this is a subsidiary label of the same thing. So what is this? Angel Bat Dawood, the Oracle? A vast, immersive oral exploration of black experiences. Well, that sounds interesting. A Sun Ra-infused mixture of samples, sonic fragments, and spoken word. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I hope this is going to be alright. But that certainly is a pretty good description, which is enough to tweak my interests big time. It was in the same bin, and of course it's the same. Yeah, it's related. So I didn't actually look that closely at it. I just bought the bloody thing. So I hope it's going to be alright. International Intergalactic Mantra. So that's interesting. I didn't actually pick up on that. But anyway, so I will be keeping my eye open in their bins. They said, they're not going to get everything in, but they will obviously get them when they come in. And, $50 a record is about what I'd be paying plus postage to get them here from overseas. I know I looked on the International Anthems Band campsite, and the problem, of course, is shipping from America. You basically add $30 New Zealand to the cost of the record to get it shipped here, which means I'll be spending about $70 odd a record, so that's not going to happen. Right. So I picked up a bunch of second-hand stuff with the vouchers that my lovely wife gave me, and it appears to me that I have managed to score myself an original copy of Hello Sailor's first LP. Is it the first one? Because this has actually been reissued just this last, very recently, but to be honest, you can pick these up second-hand fairly cheap. It's a little bit scratchy looking. I will give it a clean up. That's probably why it was quite cheap. But there'll be a bit of surface noise, but that'll clean up quite nicely. This is on Key, as you can see. Key label. So yeah, this is obviously the original one. Someone's got their name written on the back of it. Dibble. So I'll put that through the cleaner tomorrow. Some gutter black, Blue Lady, some pretty classic New Zealand rock on this one. So nice to have an original. Yeah, like I said, they didn't reissue it, but you can still pick up the originals. I mean, I did see another original copy in another shop for about $20. I don't know what condition it was. I'm going to have to do a bit of sleeve gluing there. So yeah, pleased to get that. And I mean, it's not a bad price. Another New Zealand one I picked up today is this one, the Eversons. So this, I believe, is their first LP. When is it? 2012. Now, I did pick up another Eversons, their second album a couple of years back. They put out they're kind of quirky sort of indie pop, fairly poppy. I mean, I do remember quite liking them. Little Chief Records have done a lot of New Zealand stuff. Actually, I do think, yes, this is on. It actually feels, the way that just came out of there, it feels brand new. Looks brand new, vinyl. So this is on this kind of, I don't know what colour. It's a kind of a greeny colour. I can't think of the actual colour name. There is a name. There'll be a name for that. I'm not too good on that. So, yeah. Looks pretty near mint condition, to be honest. There's a wee crease in the thing, but yeah. So that's a cool wee New Zealand band. Now today, what I did was I traded. There was about 3 records in my collection that I traded today that were brand new sealed records that I already had copies of, and I've got a video about those records which I haven't actually posted yet, but I bought 20 records in a bundle off of a Trade Me seller, or a Trade Me sale that I won, or an auction you might call it, and yeah, I knew these records were in it, but I was after a lot of the other records, and there was so there were 2 bands there. One was called Our Love Will Destroy the World, and the other one was Black-Boned Angel. Now, I have records by those bands, and they have quite a bit of stuff out, not a lot of vinyl, but a few. And so there was a sealed copy of both of those bands, which is actually the same guy, but under different names. And I traded those. Anyway, while I was looking through the new arrivals bin, what did I find? An Our Love Will Destroy the World record that I didn't have. What's the name of the record? I have no idea. Crayon Recordings. Just on black vinyl. No, I have no idea what the record is called. It might not have a name. It might just be self-titled. So, yeah, so that's cool. So I'm pleased to grab that. So I, basically swapped it, didn't I, really, in some ways. And the other one was the Black-Boned Angel. And this one is still sealed, like the ones I sold them today. Verdun, looks like the name of it, from Riot Season Records. God knows when this was released. I'll have to look it all up on Discogs. So yeah, that was cool. So I was quite pleased to do that. So I got rid of the 2 I didn't need and got 2 I did need. So that was my vouchers and my trade-ins taken care of, and then my wife was there because she traded in some of her DVDs and was looking through them, and she was taking forever. And I ended up going through the jazz section just out of curiosity, found a few interesting things, and found an ECM actually. I wasn't going to buy anything, but I found an ECM, and I decided to keep going through the bins and see what other ECMs, because I haven't bought any ECMs for ages, and I collect ECMs. And there's a lot of them to collect, but I haven't bought any for ages. But the one that got my attention very first up is, of course, this one here. And this is ARC, A-R-C, Chick Corea, David Holland. I mean, 2 really cool. And Barry Altshire or something. I don't know him. But this is ECM 1009. So this is the 9th... the 9th one, bought from some place called Mike's Place at Mackenzie and Willis. I don't remember Mike's Place, but I do vaguely remember the Mackenzie and Willis arcade many years ago. So Chick Corea on piano, David Holland on bass, of course, and Barry is on the percussion. 1971, so yeah, really early ECM, so I'm really pleased because I haven't got this. I've got ECM 1001. And then 1007 is the next one I have, and there I have 1009. So yeah, Chick. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Chick, although he did some good stuff with like Return to Forever, and I do have some of his ECM stuff. And then a bit later on, another ECM I found, ECM 1051, the Gary Burton Quintet with Eberhard Weber. Now, I'm not a big fan of Gary Burton, but I am collecting whatever he has. This is from 1974, so it's a reasonably early one. I do have some other Gary Burton ones. Like I say, I'm not a big fan. He's on the Vibra Heart. Mick Goodrich is on this. I have one of his records that he did on ECM. Pat Metheny is also on this. Steve Swallow on bass. And Eberhard Weber is also on bass. Except Intrude. So was there 2 bassists, or maybe not necessarily? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know what this is going to be like, but another ECM to my collection. And the final ECM. Now this one here was the cheapest one out of the 3 of them, and usually when they're at this price, I think that maybe it's one of the lesser ones musically, that I'm not familiar with it. Tom Vandergeld Path, looks like the name of it is. ECM 1134 from 1979, so we're still in the 70s. Tom Vandergeld, he's on a Vibra harp too. Bill Connors I've heard of before, and Roger Gianotta, that's on flute. Okay, flute, soprano, sax and oboe. So this is interesting. No bass and drums on this. Okay, so yeah, don't know. I mean, oh, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. So usually when I see one for only $10 as opposed to $20 to $30 we're usually paying for them, I think maybe musically it's a little bit lesser. But in the past I have paid $10 for some in the shop, and the musically ended up being really, really good. But you know, maybe the reputation of this isn't as good, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it's an ECM. These are all German presses or German issues, so which is, we generally find the German ones in New Zealand. I do have a couple of American ones that turn up occasionally, but generally we get the German ones, and I do think that they are the better quality of the ECMs. So yeah, that's my birthday haul. So that's pretty cool. That's probably it for the year actually, but I do have some in the mail. I've been waiting on a New Zealand band who had one pressed up. Was supposed to have it pressed up a couple of months ago, and they've had lots of hold-ups, but I just got an email saying that was in the post this week. One of the main disappointing thing that happened today was turned out that Penny Lane had 3 copies of a record that I just picked up from flying out of Auckland, and I paid nearly bloody twice as much for it, and they had them on special down here. It was a record that was released for a tour, in New Zealand tour that happened from a band, and they produced an EP, and I understand there's only 300 copies, and they got snapped up pretty quick, and I didn't manage to jump on one, but I saw some flying out, and so I ordered one, and then I get to Penny Lane today, and they've got them for $20. So never mind, too late now, already ordered. That's me, I'm out of here. See you next time. Cheers.